Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we will talk about the third lesson in Unit 2, which is called Radioactivity and Nuclear Energy. All elements consists of atoms, and each atom consists of two parts, nucleus and electrons. The nucleus contains two particles, positive protons and the neutral neutrons, and the electrons that revolve around the nucleus is negatively charged, and this atom is responsible for all the physical and the chemical properties of elements. There are some forces that are found in the atom. One of these forces are nuclear binding force. Nuclear binding force are forces that are necessary to bind or to join the nucleus components together inside the nucleus and overcome the repulsion force that are present between positively charged proton and each other. Positive protons are charged particles. Those charged particles are similar in charge, so there is a repulsion between them. This nuclear binding force can join or bind all the components, which are protons and neutrons, together inside the nucleus and can overcome this force which happens between similarly charged protons. The nuclear binding forces are the main source for the energy that is stored inside the nucleus, and it's a very huge energy which is called nuclear energy. There was a phenomenon which is called radioactivity. This phenomenon was discovered by Henry Becquerel. Henry Becquerel, during his experiments, he discovered that some elements, such as uranium, make some emissions of unseen rays or invisible rays. These rays can penetrate the solid objects. And then they discovered that uranium was not the only elements that can emit different radiations. There are some other elements which are called radioactive elements. Why those elements make those emissions? Because their nuclei contain a number of neutrons that are more than the number required for its stability. Examples for those elements are uranium, cesium, polonium, rubidium, zirconium, selenium, and uranium. When we are asked, give reason. Any one of those elements are called radioactive elements. We will say that because their nucleus contain number of neutrons more than the number required for its stability, so they release the excess energy in the form of radiation. Those radiations contains three different things: alpha particles, beta particles, and gamma radiation. This happens automatically or spontaneously without any interference of human. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Gamma radiation is the most dangerous radiation that comes from the radioactive elements because it has a very high penetration limit. And also there are other particles. We have alpha particle that can penetrate a piece of paper, and beta particle that can penetrate some materials. Before talking about the types of radioactivity, you have to know what is meant by radioactivity phenomena itself. Radioactivity phenomena itself is a spontaneous decay or automatic release of radiation to get rid of the excess energy that are found in the nucleus to make it more stable. And this spontaneous decay, we can talk about it as natural radioactivity because it happens suddenly, spontaneously, without any arrangement, and it happens through the radioactive elements. But the other type, which is artificial radioactivity, is happened by the interference of human through nuclear reactors, and the energy comes from nuclear reactors can be controlled, or this radioactivity can be controlled. We can control its effect, while the other type of artificial radioactivity that comes from nuclear bombs, which is used in military uses, can't control its effect at all. يبقى نقدر نقول إنه radiation or nuclear energy اللي comes from nuclear reactor, we can use it as we call safe use. لكن radiation which comes from nuclear bomb that are used only in military use. Let's talk firstly about the safe uses of nuclear energy. Nuclear energy can be used in the medical field. In this medical field, we can use the nuclear energy to diagnose or to discover and treat cancer, some diseases as cancer. Number two, in agricultural field. And it's related to cultivations and plants. And we use it to eliminate or to kill the pests or insects and to improve some plants races. Improving plants races, it means that we increase the good traits or the good characters that are found in some plants. Number three, we use it in industry to convert sand into silicon sheets. Those silicon sheets are used in manufacturing or in making of computer processes. And the other use in industry to discover the wrong in the manufactured products as planes or rockets. Number four is the most famous use of nuclear energy. It is in generating electricity. We use it to heat water to produce steam or vapor. This vapor used to operate turbines to generate or to produce electricity. Number five, space exploration field. Radioactive materials, اللي هي radioactive elements, can be used as nuclear fuel. This nuclear fuel is used to make the rockets flying in space. Number six, drilling field. In this drilling field, we used radioactivity to searching for petroleum oil and underground water. Before talking about the harmful effect of radiation, we need to talk about one of the most famous scientists, Egyptian scientist, that deals with nuclear energy and radiation. This was the Dr. Ali Mustafa Musharraf. He was described by Einstein as one of the greatest physicists in the whole world. Dr. Ali Mustafa Musharraf has a great theories in the field of atom and radiation. And based on these theories, they make the atomic bomb. After talking about the safe use of nuclear energy and what's meant by radioactivity and what are the radioactive elements, we need to talk about the harmful effect of radiation. The harmful effect of radiation comes from increasing the amount of radiation in the environment, which we are called radiation pollution. Radiation pollution also has two sources. One of them is natural radiation sources, which comes from the radioactive elements that are found in Earth, firstly, and the second source is the cosmic radiation, or the radiation which comes from the outer space to the Earth. The second sources, or the second type of sources, are artificial radiation sources, which comes from the nuclear bombs. When countries do experiments from time to time, and from the nuclear reactors. Now we will talk about one of the examples of radiation pollution, and it was an explosion that occurred in Russian reactor at Chernobyl city. This explosion happens due to error in the operation of the radioactive elements. The error in operation make radioactive elements to produce clouds, and this cloud would carry the atomic dust that comes from the explosion, and then this cloud, after a while, it rains, and this rain pollute everything. It firstly pollute the underground water and the plants, and then those plants were eaten by cows and sheep, and so those animals were polluted with radiation, and their milk, their meat, and any products come from those animals were polluted too with the radiation. This radiation was iodine and cesium isotopes, and those isotopes comes from the decay of nuclear fuel that was used in the nuclear reactor, and it was an element called uranium-235. What is meant by the word isotopes? Isotopes are elements that contain the same number of protons but different